5 a.m. I'm out. Debo sway in the dawn. Hearts are really under. Yeah. You know what's next. Debo sway. That's the name. Margarine and I'm up. And I'm coming with Risco sway. That's the name. Margarine and 5 a.m. live. Better get ready yet.
Good morning. How is everyone doing? Let's see here. Let me see how we can get started this morning. Show comments on stage. Yes, good morning. Give us a moment. We'll give some people time to get in to the chat. I know it's early in the morning, and I be trying to decide if I'm going to do one or not. So it's like a pop out because I don't. Sometimes I don't plan it far enough in advance. So, like I said, I was thinking about doing it, but then I went to bed and forgot to schedule it because I knew I wanted to do it. But here anyway, here I am in the flesh. So hopefully I didn't leave it on unlisted or anything like that. But anyway, so without further ado, today I want to talk about who are you without pain? That's what I want to talk about. Who are you without pain? I think this topic is important because, many of us have been carrying certain struggles for so long that they become part of our identity. We don't just say, we don't just say we experience trauma, depression, anxiety, rejection, or loss. We start seeing ourselves through those, experiences. Basically, is what we start doing. So my question to you is, have you ever looked back at your life and realized that, the person you used to be wouldn't even recognize the person that you are today? Example, there was a time when I barely wanted to leave the house. Now I'm going live at 5 a.m. talking to people all over the world, So, yeah. Hey, Joshua. How are you doing this morning? Yes, you are the first one in. How are you this morning? Good morning, Krishna. How are you? I'm doing well this morning. I'm doing well. Good to hear, Joshua. Good to hear. Wonderful to hear. Yes. Okay. So like I said, now I'm going live at 5 a.m. talking to people all over the world. So that's a major accomplishment, I am doing well. And I'm so glad to hear y'all are doing well. Okay, so for me, healing hasn't happened all at once. For years I thought I was healing, and I thought that healing meant forgetting what happened. What I learned is that healing means learning how to live without letting it control you. Is what I've learned. Have I ever wondered, if there's more to life than what I'm doing now? Yeah, yes, I have. I started out writing books so that I can try to get it down on paper to express, how I'm feeling. I finally did that in 2023. I finally got that book out there, talking about, what happened to me. But I've been trying for many years to do that. I just wanted to write it. I'd always started, but I wouldn't complete it. But like I said, in 2023, I was feeling good in 2023. And I was able to accomplish putting that book out there, and it's called Nobody Asked. Good morning, Kendi K. Good morning. I'm talking about who are you without the pain, and I'm talking about my experience, and I want to hear if anyone in the audience also has had any kind of experience with pain. And let's talk about. Good morning, Motivated to Soar. Good morning, Dee. So glad you're all here. And I was just telling Krishna and Joshua that because I had so much trauma in me that I thought it was something that I had to talk about and leave in me, because I couldn't let it go, because I felt like I would be not getting to the results, I guess is what I want to say. I kind of wanted to, in the beginning I put it out my head, but when I did decide to embrace, this happened to you, you have to face it. When I decided to face it, then that's when everything hit the fan. That's when everything hit the fan. So as I was saying, I started out, writing my problem, what happened to me. And I could never finish out, because I was like, I'm gonna write a book about it, so I can help somebody else. And like I said, I just could never get it out. But in 2023, that changed for me. Good morning, Low Carb Queen. Good morning. In 2023, that changed for me, y'all. I actually wrote the book called Nobody Asked. And the reason why I named it Nobody Asked, because literally nobody asked. They just figured I was going through hormonal changes or something, as they used to. I don't know if y'all remember the word, Joshua and Kristen, you may not remember, but the rest of us, they used to call you fast. That was the word they used, fast. She's just getting fast, is what they would say. But the truth is, I was burying so much pain that, like I said, when it happened the next day, I decided, we're going to put this behind us. I'm not going to walk around and nobody's ever going to hurt me again. And I meant that. Now, did it take me through some changes and things that I probably would have never done, but I did? That's what happened. Yes, Dee. Yes, acknowledgement and expressing is so vital to the healing. That's true. That is very true. And that's what I had to do, because putting it behind me was not the answer. It was not the answer at all. Because like I said, it had me out of control, like completely out of control. If y'all could be flies on the wall, I was completely out of control. Completely out of control. And I thank God for the person that I am today. I feel like I always was toward people. I was always good towards people. But to myself, I was not so good. It's like the hurt was so deep that I was hurting myself, At the end of the day, me thinking I'm hurting somebody else, but I was hurting myself. Yes, they used to call us fast. They used to call us fast. I was telling Reg yesterday that we were talking about dads versus fathers. And I was trying to explain to him that my stepdad was my dad because he spent time with me and he nurtured me. He did all the things, me growing up. And my father was the man who brought me into this world, because he did not do those things. But they asked the question of, can that relationship change? And, they were saying the stepdad no longer be interested in raising you, as his own. Well, my stepdad didn't think that way. But when that happened to me, the first words out of his mouth were, he was sitting on the porch, and I will never forget it. He was sitting on the porch, and I came walking on the steps, and he said, "With your fast self," was the words he said to me. He didn't try to look and see the distraught in me or anything. He just immediately called me fast, y'all. And I was like, as I was walking into the house, I was like, well, if he thinks that about me, everybody's going to think that about me. Everybody's going to think that about me. I couldn't let everybody think that about me. So immediately I told myself, this girl in the mirror will never be hurt again. But back to the subject of Reds is, things did change between me and my stepdad, because deep down I couldn't forgive him for saying those words, because he did not protect me. Instead, he judged me. He judged me. So it did change between us. Yes, they blamed the female because of how you dress, but guess what? At the time that happened to me, I had just started hanging out, with my friends and stuff, and we weren't able to. I wasn't even dressing provocative or anything like that. Now, after that happened to me, yes, ma'am, I dressed to impress. I dressed to kill. As they call it, dress to kill, she dressed to kill. I dressed to kill. Yes, I did. Yes, words cut, exactly. And they cut me into this day. I still remember that, someone did help me say, maybe, I don't know which, I don't know if it's Lokar Queen or I'm telling you, it was Delilah. Delilah said maybe he didn't know how to approach it himself, and she was telling me to, give him some grace. Maybe he did. He'd never had a 16-year-old, 15 at the time. So he never had a 15-year-old. So maybe he didn't. But I would hope enough that he would know me to where he didn't all of a sudden say those words to me, because, like I said, I just started hanging out with my friends. But I guess because he saw the situation, he just judged it by the situation. How a person dresses does not matter. That is exactly right. The society makes us think that it does matter. How we dress, how we walk, how we talk, none of that matters. None of that matters. None of it matters. Yep. So back to my topic. I did write the book. Nobody asked. Like I said, nobody asked, and that's the reason why I named it that. I realized my purpose wasn't just writing; it was to help people grow. So maybe that's what took it off of there, or maybe that's what brought it on. But I did know that I wanted to help people grow. I did know that I wanted to help people not be in pain like the pain that I was in, that I am still in. To be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you. I still, even though I don't talk about it all the time, I feel like it's buried inside of me. And my body, it's like my body is traumatized from it, period. It's traumatized from it. So it makes decisions for me versus letting my brain, that part of the brain that thinks first, sometimes it makes decisions for me. And so because it does that, good morning, Joy, because it does that every day, I tell people, and I say this to y'all, and I mean every bit of it, every day that I wake up, I have to talk myself into having a good day and not let what happened to me lead my day. So I try to do it on a happy note. Yes, ma'am, Joy. You understand, you said. Joy says she's understanding. She understands it. But like I said, that me wanting to help people grow did not change inside of me. Yes, healing happens in different phases. But I thank God, that I mean, I don't know why it happened to me. I don't say that to myself. Why did this happen to me? I don't say that because then that's questioning God. But one of you on here may tell me it's okay to question God and ask Him. I'm not. I don't read the Bible. I just get what I get, like Motivated Tour. She talks about the Bible. Lokar Queen talk about the Bible. Everybody. A lot of people talk about the Bible, and I get the gist of it that way. My sister talks the Bible to me. But I cannot tell you that I've read the whole Bible. I started reading it, and I would read chapters, but I cannot tell you that I've read the whole Bible to have an understanding of all of it. So I get it on what I hear. I get pieces of the Bible from what I hear. But I do know how to be a good person. That I do know. The Bible doesn't have to tell me how to be a good person, because I know in order for me to see the man above, that I have to be a good person here on earth. So I do know that. So as I was saying, fear sometimes makes my decisions. There were many things that I wanted to do, but talk myself out of it. Like for instance, now starting these lives and creating content and going back to school, and fear just had a lot to say about that. But as I said, 2023, that changed for me. I decided my mind, body, and soul is going to lead forward. And so as of today, I can say that, hey, I went back to school and I've started the live and I'm creating content. So I can say those things today. And it feels good to say them. It feels so good to say them. So when was the last time you gave yourself credit for how far you've come, ladies and gents? When was the last time you gave yourself credit for how far you've come? I guess I just did it today. Thank you, DG says, amen. You are a good person and we love you, sis. And I love all of you from the bottom of my heart. I love all of you. Every person that God has placed in my life, even on this app, I love all of you. Everybody has been so kind and loving. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Joy says, I'm starting to do that more and more now that I have time to sit back and think. Yes, yes. And we deserve a good life. That's what God wants for us. He wants us to have a good life. That I know as well. But he also uses us, for, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think he uses us, some of us, sometime, for things, to get other people to wake up and make sure that they are only dependent on him. Am I right in saying that? Am I saying it okay, or is there another way of saying that? Indeed, indeed. Okay, okay. So that's the kind of the way I look at it. Like, it happened to me because maybe he thinks that I'm stronger than I present myself to be. And I guess I am, because I've survived this long. I'm 53 years old. And like I say, every day is a learning lesson for me. I take it day by day, and I'm doing all the things. I got my therapy. I got all of you listening to everything y'all say. I take it in. I take it in. I take it in. I take it in. So let's talk about self-worth. When was the last time you gave yourself credit for how far you came? I think I've said that already. I also lost weight. I think I said I published a book, started businesses. Speaking of businesses, just to let y'all know, I may be having a business venture that I'm going to discuss with a person, another business person, on Thursday. So I will let you all know how it goes, how that deal goes. If I decide, he's already wants to do it, but I have to decide if I want to do it. So I'll see what all he's talking about, what he presents to me, and yeah. So I might be getting out there and to do another business. I'll have my real estate business. I'm almost done with school for that. So I'll have my real estate business, and but he wants to do a business with me. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It sounds interesting. Okay. So what I was saying is I have done the things like lost weight, published books, started businesses, and sometimes I still forget to celebrate those wins. And I do. I forget to celebrate those wins. Like in the beginning of making this topic, I couldn't think of what I wanted to say. So of course I got my help from my chat GPT, and it helps me out a lot to put it all in writing from what I'm trying to say. I know a lot of you may have heard me talk about the Maslow chart before, but that's another thing that has helped me, y'all. The Maslow chart. It what the Maslow chart is it's by Abraham Maslow, and he thinks that human behavior comes in stages, is what he thinks. So I don't know if anybody put a 1 in the chat if anybody's heard of the Maslow chart. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Low Carb Queen. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I feel like God brings things into your life in time, good timing. Everything he does is in good timing. So you never heard of it, Low Carb Queen, never heard of it, okay? The reason why I've heard of it is because I was trying to go to school for nursing, and I had to take that in psychology, y'all. And it was one of the most interesting pieces of information that I've ever read. And the Maslow chart comes in 5 different stages. The first stage is new for is your basic needs. I'm reading your comment on here. New for me. It's basic needs. The second is safety. The next is belonging. Then it's self-esteem, and then it's self-actualization. So it comes in 5 stages. Basic needs is before we can grow, we have to survive. And what that means is, and I don't have all my charts in front of me. I wish I had my chart in front of me. What that means is when you're born, before you're even born, okay, before you're even born, that mom that's carrying you has to stay healthy, talk positive around herself, and not have all these mixed up emotions, because that can travel on to the baby. That can travel on to the baby inside of you. So that's one of the things. As far as like food, basic needs is food, water. What else, y'all? What else? Help me out. Food, water, safety. Well, safety is going to be number 2, but food. Let me just use food and water. It's a lot more things on there for that, and that's what you need to help you survive. But then the next stage is safety. So people need stability before they can thrive. So safety is, making sure that um, um, that you are nurtured. You feel safe around your parents or your siblings. Um, so let's use nurturing as the best way. If someone nurtures you, you're going to feel safe. So let's just use nurturing as that. And then you got belonging. Belonging is the stage where we need connection. This is where you start, meeting people, friends. At a certain age, you start meeting friends, or you start binding. I can't get my words out, y'all. You start binding with your siblings, or you need, or you start looking at for friends. You get in preschool and all those grades, and you start looking at to have friends. So that's belonging. So in that stage, think about it. If someone rejects you at an early age during the belonging stage, what's going to happen when you get older? What's going to happen when you get older? You're going to not take rejection well. Either you'll fall from it, or you'll go deep into it. You'll protect yourself and be like, forget you then. But that is an important stage, belonging. I think a lot of people feel that when you say that. Yes, connectivity, unity, yes. No man is on an island. That's right. Is an island. That's right. Yes. And then we got self-esteem. Confidence grows when we recognize our value. Now that's going to come from your environment. If people around you are talking good things, then guess what you're going to do? You're going to thrive. Your self-esteem is going to just help you grow. You know what I mean? So you're going to flourish because you got positivity all around you. But just let's put the negativity in there. If you got negativity around you, starting at home, each one of these are going to start at home. If you got negativity around you, then you're not going to meet that stage of self-esteem. You're going to walk around and your self-esteem is not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all. And then last, we have self-actualization. This is where purpose lives. Self-actualization is when you're going to say, hey, maybe you got to 12th grade and it's time to graduate. This is the part where you're going to say, I know my purpose. You're going to find that early on. You're going to find it early on, because if all these other 4 steps went the right way, you're not going to have any problems of thinking anything less. You're going to be moving forward. You're going to be moving forward. I always like to say my sister is one of those that maybe all 5 of these happened for her. She was the firstborn. So how it is with firstborn. So, mom probably was more nurturing with her because it's her first child. Because mom was young, she got to spend a lot of time with my grandmother. So there was some more love. She wasn't the first grandchild of the family, but in our hometown, she may have been the first one in our hometown. So she also got that love. You know what I mean? Because she's the first baby before all of us. So I like to say, because she's done everything right. And I'm sure many of you have probably done everything right in the beginning. So she's done everything right in the beginning. So I have to give her that, commend her on that. I have to commend her on that. But there are many other people in the world that also have been able to do this, and I commend them on that as well. I commend them on that as well. So yes. Okay, let's see if I can keep going. I'm sorry about pausing, y'all. And I used to think that saying no made me selfish. Then I realized constantly saying yes was making me miserable. And it kind of sort of sometimes was, But as I've stated before, I don't mind saying yes, and I don't mind treating people good. I just put a little disclaimer in my head that It has nothing to do with me. That's between them and God. That's what I say. It's between them and God, is what I say. So that keeps me being where I'm supposed to be. That keeps me being where I'm supposed to be. So yes. And then we come down to self-worth. I asked you, when was the last time you gave yourself, well, I'm sorry, look at me going right back to, we've already done self-worth. Confidence, where did you learn to doubt you? When did you learn to doubt yourself? Or where did you learn to doubt yourself? Like I said, I wasn't born doubting myself. As a matter of fact, I was on top of the world. And when I was growing up on my own world, on top of the world, in my own world, I had a lot of things going on in my life, but I was a happy kid. I was a very happy kid, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do when I got out of high school. But like I said, that derailed me. My pain derailed me, and things change. And like I said, it's life. It happens. Not that way. I wish that didn't happen, but life does happen. Life does happen. Life does happen. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Yeah, I was all ready for y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was all ready for y'all. I had it all laid out. And then, like I said, of course, fear just jumped in. And now I'm rambling and I'm all over the place. But I hope y'all are understanding what I am saying. I hope you're understanding everything that I'm talking about. I hope I'm not too far out. And if you have any questions for me, please ask. If you have any questions for me, please ask. That would be great. That would be great. Thank you, Low Carb Queen. And I just learned how to keep up with my chat. Now I know now that it's grayed out. If I've already looked at it, it's grayed out. Yes, humans are resilient. That is right, Sue Joy. Thank you, Joy. You are doing fine. Thank you, Joy. Dee says, we can tell you were ready for us. Amazing live archery. Thank you. I was ready. I was ready. I did. I took 2 hours to get ready. Joy says she loves authentic talk. That's what it came down to, authentic talk. That's exactly what it's done. Oh, you Sue Joy. Thank you. You are my inspiration. Thank you, Sue Joy. My beautiful queen, D-Boss, awesome. Thank you, Krishna. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. Well, thank you all for coming in. I'm only doing 30-minute segments at this 5 a.m. vibe. Hopefully I can get better at it, and I hope to see you all again. I probably didn't give a good closing, but thank you. Thank you so much for coming in, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Enjoy the rest of your morning. I'm heading over to Auntie Mama's live. Auntie Mama's kitchen is what she is, y'all. To see if what kind of coffee she on today, because she was on that coffee yesterday, and it had whoo. I said, we ain't never letting you get that coffee no more. You should have heard her, Low Carb Queen. She was hyper. She was hyper. I appreciate you as well, Joy. Blessings to you, Low Carb Queen. Motivated, that's blessings to you as well. Motivated says you're definitely pouring into us on this Saturday morning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all for coming. Okay, well, I will let you go. Bye.
Thank you for listening, for feeling my heart. You stayed with me through it all, and I appreciate your time.